Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. What is up? It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe Show, the home of Epic Conversations. I'm the host of Epic Conversations 2020, Best Podcast News Award winner, 2018 Innovation Award winner, given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. Also, I host the only online conversation in the world for dads and fathers that is sponsored by Dove Men Care and co-sponsored by Dad Central, Canada's national fatherhood organization. Also, I'd like to say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, a solution for someone's problem. Good morning or good day, wherever you are. I should say good day because you never know where people are watching this. We're broadcasting live on April 22nd. And good morning, Ryan Knight.
Always good to see you, brother.
Yeah, we saw you yesterday. Yeah,
we're able to connect in person. For those that didn't hear about the, the Liberal Black Caucus Community Media Roundtable. Yeah,
Black Media Roundtable. Yeah.
So that was happening yesterday in person and also online. So we were actually at the office of Silver Trust Media, which is the, umbrella company for Afro Global. I didn't see Moses and Patricia.
No, Moses is in Uganda.
Oh, okay. That's why I was like, I didn't get to say hi to him. But for those that don't know who I am, my name is Ryan Knight, one of the co-founders of the Afro-Caribbean Business Network. We work with entrepreneurs of African and Caribbean heritage to figure out what stage they're in today and then help them create a blueprint to grow their companies exponentially. I'm also an entrepreneur myself. I run a company called Detailing Nights. So we provide mobile waterless car cleaning. So we go to people's houses or their offices, clean their cars on the spot without water and with our eco-friendly plant-based cleaning supplies. And the sun is shining, even though there's still a chill.
Yeah,
the season is ready to go.
Yeah, it's the sun. The sun is there. Just need the temperature to get there, right?
Exactly.
So before we get any further, want to say today's episode of The Morning Vibe is sponsored by Caesar's Crown. And a little bit about Caesar's Crown. Caesar's Crown is Caesar's Crown Men's Grooming is owned and operated by Mr. Travis Samuel. All of the products are made with natural ingredients, formulated with men's skin in mind. Please check them out online and all their socials, which you can see below. I'll just put the information just a second and start feeling like a king today. Join the movement, wear the crown. So here's some of their products.
Excellent.
There, you got that. We got that there. So Caesar's Crown, thank you for sponsoring today's conversation on The Morning Vibe. Also, too, I'm going to put, pardon me?
As well.
You do them
in the mornings? Yes.
They have nothing. Well, I see. And Travis, I told you, you got nothing for me. Well, you can sponsor us, which is good, but you got nothing I can just like.
Yes.
I'd like to do a Caesar's Crown demo live. So that'd be.
Hey, if you put it on, and you started growing a beard and hair, that'd be a testimonial.
Well, I've always thought about it. I haven't. Like maybe I'll go a day without shaving it on. I go, do I like this? Do I just like many years ago, a mentor of mine says, shouldn't grow a beard because you're hiding your face. I go, and that always seems to reckon in my mind. But there's the information for Caesar's Crown Grooming Line, Men's Grooming Line, website address. They're on Instagram, their phone number. So that is that. So what's been going on? Yes, we did see each other yesterday. What else has been going on?
What else has been going on? You know, what I started to do is document my journey through all these bank loans, let's say Black entrepreneurship programs. So
Yes.
I started my process with Alterna and BDC, their program. I started my process with the Face Coalition. Well, I've already started them, but I actually got all my documents and submitted them all. So RBC's program, Bank of Montreal, and CIBC. So I guess the clock has started. We'll see which one gets me to the finish line so we can expand detailing nights.
Well,
We shall see.
no, that's a good. Now, whoever gives you an offer first, is that going to be the first one you take?
If they give what I ask, because sometimes they
Okay.
might. I know Face sometimes comes back with what's it called, like a reduced amount based on what you submit. I'm not sure if RBC, CIBC, or BMO does that as well. And Alterna, I know their program is a max of 50,000, so
Okay.
I doubt they would come back with a lower amount. So and again, I tell people when we're doing our sessions, our funding info sessions, apply for all four, and then and don't let all four like pull your credit, because you don't want that hit 4 times. But the ones that say, okay, we're ready to move forward, and then they're going to ask permission to pull your credit, that person that gets you to that as close to the finish line as possible, I would go with. So to answer your question, yes, whoever comes back first, I'm going to go with them.
But you've put them in at different times, though, haven't you?
So technically, I've already responded to them and said, because I signed up and asked them to, what information do you need from me? They all sent, so on my back wall is the response from each one.
Good.
So I had to check the box for each one and say, okay, my package is ready. I responded to them and said, I'm ready to go forward. I have all the documents. Can we set up a meeting? So that was what was sent yesterday. So, I mean, to give you an update, CIBC and Bank of Montreal reached out. They booked a meeting for Monday. And
Nice.
Alterna, they booked a meeting same day. I was able to talk with her and putting together the package. So only RBC I'm waiting to hear from.
Haven't heard much from RBC.
Yeah. And even Bank of Montreal, I haven't seen a lot of promotion of their program. It was kind of that press release, and then
haven't heard much since. So yeah, that'd be, and I think it's a great idea to document your journey. And I think just in general, content creators, you should document your journey. It's not just all the end content you put out, even the behind the scenes stuff. I had an incredible conversation last night with a new intern I'm bringing on board, and she has taken so much. She's taking what we have on one of the shows that I do to a whole other level. I mean, totally like, and it's great to have an intern come in and they're excited and they bring ideas that either you can't execute because you got too many things going on or things you didn't even think of.
True.
She is just like she's blowing things up in a good way. Yeah. So it's going to be really exciting. So that is good, but document.
Like, and something I would say semi-exciting that we heard yesterday is that there was money in the budget for journalism in the Black community. So again, they didn't have a lot of details. He did say follow up in a couple months for it.
Well, as I said, yes, Mr. Greg Fergus mentioned that, and I told you when we were speaking after the media roundtable, I'll put quote media roundtable, that I have Greg Fergus's personal cell phone number, so I will be mentioning him. I also have reached out to already one person there from the Black Caucus yesterday to see if we can get them on our platform, and then I also have I'll reach out to Marcy Ian. I'm going to be doing that this morning. Marcy and I, we first met over at about 30 years ago.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
So I know some stuff about Marcy, and it's nothing bad that a lot of people don't know. But so Marcy, I spoke to Marcy briefly and said, hey, would you like to come? She goes, yeah, I'd love to. So she gave me her card, gave me the name of her personal assistant. So I got to email her. Solid. Today. I've already emailed Ariel Kayabega. Or I hope I'm getting that right. If I'm not, it's my head, not my heart. But she is the head of the Liberal Black Caucus. And she's a young lady. Well, all ladies are young.
And I believe MP of London?
Yes, London West. MP from London West.
Gotcha.
So I've reached out her. I've never really met her formally, but I've reached out to. We'll be reaching out to all I'll be reaching out by the end of the day to all the members of the Little Black Caucus who were there yesterday. I've already interviewed Minister Hussein a few times, so
Gotcha.
but he wasn't there, unfortunately, because I think they're really pushing the housing portfolio,
Right.
and he's the Minister of Housing. So I've found that interesting. But hey, maybe he's prior committed, etc. But
Yes.
we're gonna leave it at that. But yeah, it's been going on. So Trista says, "Yay!" I guess you're saying about the journalism. Tim is saying, "Great, Ryan, for documenting loan op. We should do a cross reference with others to have applied to see either similarities or differences in the processes and results."
Very true.
Well, there's been enough written about that lately.
Yes.
Uh, and good morning, Ray. Great idea. Please share the results with us and let us know what the offer was, rate, term, etc. Well, if you're willing to be that transparent, Ryan,
Absolutely.
make that happen. But that's going to be really interesting to see. And it's interesting, Ryan. And I'm going to say this in a good way. You are somewhat prominent in the Black Canadian community, so I'm going to wonder the treatment you get. Will that be the same who to someone who is not as prominent in the Black
And
Canadian
that's where
community?
Ray is saying we should, and I think Tim said it too, to be
Comparing.
able to, yeah, compare. So another person, if going for any capital and wants to join me in this journey, definitely let me know, and then yeah, we'll kind of do it together and see how long it takes and document it.
Yeah. Anything else going on before we get our new, well, not new to you, but new to me, a new friend on for today?
Well, the new thing is actually linked to our guest today. We are putting out the press release as we're starting one of Ontario's first ever Black labor market studies. And our guest today is the chief architect of the research firm Dunn, Pierre, Barnett and Company. So we have with us Dr. Cleophas Justice Pierre, who I was able to meet through a gentleman that's been on our show before, Errol Gibbs, and he said, "You have to talk to Dr. Pierre. You have to talk to Dr. Pierre. He's doing things internationally that we need to bring to Canada." So when I was able to meet with him, and we got to meet for lunch at the Bronze Branch or Olive Branch in Mississauga, and I was blown away by this gentleman. So I really appreciate you taking the time to be on today, and I'm looking forward to working together.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, everyone. How are you today?
We're
Very good.
outstanding. We're even more outstanding having you.
Thank you very much. And it's a pleasure to have me on, Dr. Vibes and Mr. Knight, Ryan. It has been a pleasure to meet you today and to speak on your show.
Excellent. I, just share a little bit of background about yourself because I've never met you before. Ryan has, and I don't
Okay.
think most of your audience have never heard about you. So if you can share a little bit about your background.
Okay, good. For example, obviously, I am from the Caribbean, and I've been living here for maybe close to over 30 years, so I'm seasoned. Most importantly, I am a researcher. We as a firm, we own. I'm a director of a company by the name of Dunn, Pierre, Barnett and Company Canada Limited. So we are a Black research firm. We are internationally, we are well known. We have conducted over 160 studies in 40 countries. We're specialized in issues relating to labor market, research, workforce development, things like skills, also in terms of the skills, employment, unemployment, and underemployment. So a lot of international agencies, the United Nations, the World Bank, most of the international agencies know us. The United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime do a lot of work with us. We have conducted over the last maybe 7 years, we have conducted maybe seven of maybe some of the largest studies on research and in the Caribbean region. For example, in 2018, we conducted a a project for the World Health Organization and the Pan American Health Organization on data. So we looked at the 28 countries in the Caribbean. So we collected all that data, all the disease burden data, data relating to migration. Okay, who is traveling? All the persons, the health workers are traveling. Where they're traveling to? What is the motivator? The motivating factor for them to travel. So all that data so we collect. So we have a huge data. Our firm, for example, have one of the largest database on the movement of labor and the movement of people, the labor and migration data. So we collect data on about 1,700 occupations. Okay, and so these are some of the things we have done. We also are heavily involved in research with human trafficking, migration. For example, we have done some work for the Turks and Caicos. So they did like a national skills audit. So with regard to the labor market needs assessment. So in order for a country to build the foundation of you must conduct, and based on ILO standard, it's not my standard. ILO is the international organization that sets the platform for how a country should develop, and so when we go to a country, when you try to develop a country, if you want to know what is taking place in a country, one of the first things you need to do is a labor market needs assessment. Okay, and as we see in Canada, this labor market assessment has never been done in 50 years. Okay, nobody knows the situation with what blacks, how many black, what's the average income of a black doctor, or where black person, what's the average income of black CEO, where they live, etc. So we collect a lot of data, we buy a lot of data, we spend so we collect a lot of data from by through third party. We can get data based on postal codes, based on professions. So all of these things. So we are very familiar with that. We also work for a company in the Caribbean region called CARICOM. So we've done a lot of work for them. We have done a lot of work for Statistics Canada. They are all known to us. And that's it. But we're not known in Canada. And
go ahead, Ryan, because that's what was going in my mind. Go ahead, Ryan.
So all this work that you've been doing internationally, and you're saying Canada hasn't even done it in the last 50 years, and definitely the Black community hasn't had this type of data and research. I hear the word data being thrown around so much, and on the roundtable yesterday with the Black Caucus, I believe data was mentioned at least 10 times.
Right.
Like, we need that data for the Black community.
Right.
So what's missing with getting that data in Canada? Like,
right.
I'm curious your thoughts on that.
Very good, because for example, when we receive fund, I mean, historically we receive funds from the government for specific information, for most likely for culture, community, life. But I think that we need to do. We were small society. For example, there were like a 1.3 million people. There are more Ukrainians in Canada than there are all Black people combined. So. So but we because we're so small, there's very little information. Statistics Canada is not obliged to collect data on our community. We're small, like 3.2% of the population. But what makes it different is that we as an organization, or as a community, we have there's a calculation called the population to business ratio. So how many, based on your population, how many entrepreneurs you have. So we have on lease, for example, 90-something% of, I think 93 of businesses in or the Black community are less than 3 persons. So very small. So we have, for example, there's something called the business to population ratio. So we have a business to population ratio about 3.8%. So how many are, so it's very little, one of the smallest. So what happened is that we cannot employ our own. Okay. So if with our children.
Hold on, out of the 1.3 million, only 3% are
business people. Are business people. Roughly about 22,000 Black firms. Okay. So
and 90-ish% of that is only 3 people, like 3 people or less.
Yes, we are tied to our register. We're very small, and I think that is one of the reasons why because we are into this, we have been in this doing in a very long time. That's why it's important that the labor market needs assessment to be done, which has not been done.
So doctor, I want to interrupt. What impact does it have, research or funding wise, to organizations like yours? Say that ratio was 20%.
Very good. Okay, so for example, because we have, let's say we have about, let's see, about 22,000. So our business to employment ratio is about 3%, which
Right.
means that when your children, my children, leave school, a black company cannot employ them. They have to go to other organizations. So, for example, other agencies, other ethnic group.
Yeah.
Other ethnic groups have higher, 30%, 47. But yes. Okay. So, for example, imagine that Canada is about 70% of European descent. Okay, we call it white, and close to 90-something% of these businesses only deal with white companies. Okay, so it's very seldom for a black. So, for example, we had a survey. We asked almost, I think it's my notes, 1,023 white firms. If they have, could you tell me 3 of your black suppliers? They could not tell us. Who are your black suppliers? So
I just want to interrupt for a second. This comment here from Farley Flex. Good for joining us, and thank you, Farley, for regularly adding value on everyone here. And I'll do a roll call in a few minutes. But Farley's saying this is incredibly important and essential to building strategies for Black infrastructure in this country, the Pan-African Credit Union, education, criminal justice system, and so much more. Also, another one of our regulars, Tim, has a question for you, doctor. It says, question for Dr. Pierre. Has your firm collected data on products and services being bought and used within the Black community in North America, i.e. which products and services we use the most, etc.?
Yes. So for example, we, as I said, we use, I mean, we are very consumer based, so we use a lot of consumer products, hair products. We use, well, I mean, the Black woman, for example, outspend all other ethnic group in skin, nails, and hair products. So we are very good at that. But however, we are so these are the products that we normally buy, because of the women are more educated than us. They tend to spend more on these products than us. We also spend a lot on entertainment, okay, or in terms of the way we look, it's very important to us. Our presence is good, okay. So these are some of the issues that we spend on. But in terms of, so what we as a firm, as organizations want to do is to encourage more Black people in business, more Black businesses, because this will be so beneficial. We have an opportunity within 7 years to almost have perfect employment. Because if we, for example, we are on average about 22,000 Black firms.
Yep.
If we could get this rate from 22,000 to about 50,000, if each and increase the employment rate of Black people from less to about five persons or 10 persons. So if 50,000 persons, Black businesses employ, let's say 10, that's almost 500,000 employment.
Yeah.
So the unemployment in the Black community is gone.
It's gone, yes. Okay.
Wow.
It can be done. And that is why we need these labor market assessments. So people,
and that's only an increase of like up to 7%. It's not even like we're saying we have to get 50% of the population to start businesses.
Exactly. Because what happened is that we are the youngest in the population. We're the youngest people. The average Canadian is about 41.2 years. The average Black person is about 29.6 on average.
Wow.
So we are younger.
Say that again.
Really?
That's a huge knowledge bomb you just dropped. So what's the average age of a Canadian?
41.1 on average, yes.
And what's the average age of a Black Canadian?
29.2 on average, yes. So
Jeez.
we
Under
are younger
30.
than the population. But
Wow.
here what happened. Why this is important. Why we have to get more black businesses. That's why maybe the banks and everyone should listen to that. Because if you as a black father or black person cannot employ your children, when if your child come to you and say, "Daddy, mommy, I want to what should I get into?" Okay, which opportunities, which industry employs most black people? You don't know. You can't tell them because
Can't
no
tell.
labor market study has been done. Which
Right.
which what is the highest salary of a black worker? You can't tell them because there's no labor market data. And that is what we say. We have been telling the people, telling the powers, the organization that is in charge of, let's do a labor market data. Actually, I just sent a letter to an organization called I think it's the Black North about this thing. There was this big, they had this elaborate,
Oh,
you
the
know,
anti-racism playbook.
yes, okay, yes, but yes, but that's good. But what is needed is this labor market needs assessment. Okay, how would you know
All right.
which industry that you have the most racism in? You don't know. That's
Okay.
why you need a labor market needs assessment.
All right. Just some comments to catch up here. This is good.
Just give me 1 second.
Jacqueline is saying OMG. Ray is saying thanks to having Dr. Pierre Dunn break down the demographics for us. I've been trying to tell my clients this for 2 decades.
You
It is
see it?
important to understand where we stand in relation to the nation.
Mm.
Uh, Also, Ray is saying unemployment is gone along with many of the social issues impacting black youth if we can employ more of our own. Tim is saying this is why we need to scale and franchise our black businesses across Canada to increase our own labor. So there is some questions here. So first question, Jacqueline's asking, we also need some training facilities to prepare them to go out in the working industry, correct?
Yes, yes, that is it. Okay, so what is one of the challenges? Okay, one of the main challenges in our community, because we have been disenfranchised. Okay, most people in the business industry, the industry, technology, science are non-black. Okay, we are not there. We are not being invited to the table. So most of our business are in sort of a cultural base, social base. We know we need more engineers and more people in the STEM related field, which is not there. So we have to get this opportunity. So I think that the what we need lots of training, but we need technical assistance. Okay, so we need a lot of technical assistance. How do you do it? You take my hands and teach me how to do it. Then what we need is let a black organization or a better black organization, or I think that what they do, let the black organization mentor another company.
Mm.
So I will mentor you for 2 3 months or 6 months. Every week or every month we meet and discuss your business, and from there you can have that experience. In fact, so our firm, we were we as a firm, even though we were very good internationally. Okay, I mean, if any of the Canadian firms uh, apply with us for projects, we will get it over there internationally. But in Canada, if we apply together with them, we can never get it because of who we are. So there's a lot of discrimination. Even though we have done this for
Interesting.
years, okay, even though six, almost 80% of our employees have PhDs, and what makes us, we have collaboration with over 17 universities. So we do 160 studies. If you Google anything on human trafficking, we have done it. We still could not get entry
Mm.
into the Canadian landscape, because obviously who we are black firms. It's hard to get financing because black banks do not give business to black people.
No,
Okay,
black banks don't exist in this country.
no, no,
So
no, but yeah, but banks on a whole do not
Yes.
give business to black people. So if you are a business person
Mm.
applying for a bank loan, I mean, it's very difficult to get it.
yeah.
Not There are a lot of reasons, not necessarily the bank's fault, because we on an average, because we are we quote unquote, we're 3%. I mean, we're 3%, so we're not that significant in their eyes. But also our credit score is lower on average, around 640. We have an average credit score of a black person compared with 700 for regular. So if you are a bank, who would you choose? Also, there is, we as a community, we our record keeping is a little different. We keep very limited records. We don't file our taxes properly.
Mhm.
We do not do have proper audited statements. We mix our business and our personal loan. I mean, so we have a lot of challenges. So that's why
Mhm.
training is important. So we need mentoring, business mentoring school. And I have to thank, like, the BDC, the Business Development Bank, who heard about who heard about us through Statistics Canada and came out to us and reached out to us. And now the Business Development Bank is now, as a firm, as a black firm, is kind of helping us over the next 3 years to take us in a position where we should go, so that we can mentor other black organization. And yeah, so this is what is needed in this region. We need that help from the other
We're
organizations.
gonna got questions are flying in, so here we go. Next question. Harris Marketing. Today is mind blowing. Thank you. Where can we find these statistics? Also, how do blacks rate when it comes into employment and financial services?
Mhm.
Okay, good. So yeah, and the ISA is very good, and it all comes down to the labor market. So, for example, if I want to, so for example, the United States conduct labor market on a regular basis. So if I want to find out the average salary of a black CEO, I can find that out. If you want to find out the average black or
Yeah.
salary, or average salary for black C in Canada, find that out. What's the average salary of which black community has the most income? Okay, what profession creates the most income? All this data, which should be given, which should be standard information,
Mm.
is not there. So we do not know, we don't have it. So what we have done is that we purchase data, okay, credit data, financial data from third party, so that we can now use that in our database. Okay, and what we do as an organization, we in turn analyze their database and sell, and these database to mainly to international agencies, because in our database we also have over 40 years of censuses. So all the census of
Wow.
most of the Caribbean countries.
Yeah.
We have 100 years of births and death. Okay, so all data on black people. So our
Yes.
firm, we want to be like the epicenter of black data, which does not exist, and which is a
Right.
market. There's a huge market for that.
And I was curious, and I know there's probably more questions, but really quick, with until like we're doing this initial labor market assessment just in Ontario to start, and we wanted to expand it nationally uh, as soon as possible.
Yes.
But what can we expect out of this type of labor market assessment, even if it's just in Ontario?
Right.
Like, what kind of data do you feel like we'd be able to get out of it that we could action?
Right, good. So, for example, with Mr. Ryan's firm has hired us to conduct a rapid assessment. So we have to thank you for that. So what we will do, what we'll find out within our database. So what we do on a regular basis, or firm, we routinely, twice a year, we conduct a labor market needs assessment, or a labor force survey on black firms. So we have about 293 black firms in our database. So the sample size is not enough. Okay, we
Right.
want to get more and more. But however, with that sort of information, we could at least make some crude decision. I mean, as a labor statistician, we look at this. So, for example, from your study, we would want to get where black people are, what type of jobs they do, average income of a person, what's the average salary of a black entrepreneur, where they are, where they're from, what are some of the challenge they are faced in, where are are most likely in the future where the concentration of black businesses will lead over a 3 to 5 year period. We will also find out the issues with immigration, where black people are coming from, how many of them are coming, what professions they have. So all of that data, all of that migration data, okay,
Yes,
or
yes.
even though it's public information, many
But not
black
organized.
is
It
not
needs to
organized.
be organized for our community.
Right, and that is what it's needed. So we're trying to reach some of the black organization with lots of resistance, I must say, because they're not interested in it. Okay.
So that now, see, now you're reading
Wow.
my alleged mind, because I'm going to
Mhm.
ask, what if any black organizations? How many have approached you? Because the thing is, I'm going to put it out here: if unless these organizations are have their head in the sand, data is key for the progressive Black Canadians. So
Right.
it's very interesting that you said that you've approached Black organizations and they basically have no interest.
They have no interest
That
in it.
that's a very telling comment in regards to that. So I think that's really disappointing. And I would just say that that's really, really concerning, because everyone knows in the circles that we travel in how important data is for the
Right.
future of Black Canadians. And it's very disappointing to hear
Right.
that you're not getting
Right.
a
And in every, I would say, keynote speech at all these conferences and town halls, everybody brings it up. Like,
Yes.
oh yeah, we need the data, data
it's
this, data
actually
that.
interesting. I know an organized group that wants to form their own institute to
Yes.
collect data. I'm going, why aren't they approaching you? You've already done the work, so you
Right.
can help them
Exactly.
shortcut the shortcut. A question here from Christopher. Good day, doctor. Does your research findings forecast what industries we should start to get more familiar with? Also, does your research share even where we should migrate for a better financial birth, start, or growth potentiality? Good question.
Right.
Not very good question.
Right. Right. Yes. So yes. So we
Let me
can
put it
make
back up so you don't lose
uh,
all the
yes.
question.
So we can make um prediction on trends. Okay, we're steeped in artificial intelligence, so we can make predictions, okay, based on where the demographic is going, where the black, because we're such a young community, where the black, where the business are going, what sort of trends we should look for. And that's one of the reasons of doing a labor market needs assessment. Okay, that is what the foundation, because I mean, all the things that we're doing here is not new. It is a recommendations by the ILO, and all our studies are in line with the ILO. We collect data on what is called ISIC codes. We collect data on also ISCO codes, and we all collect data on the NACIC codes. Okay, and because there are more black people outside of Canada than there are black people in Canada, we sometimes we maintain the ILO, ISCO, and um, IC codes. So based on the strategy, how many black managers are there? Okay, engineers. For example, uh, um, all of the 10 layers in the IC codes. And these are the information that will come out.
Okay. Just catching up on comments here. Tim saying, knowing the stats on why banks do not give our Black community loans because of risks, this is more proof that we need to store our own income in our own banks.
Well, yes. I actually, the funny thing is that's a very interesting question. Okay. We do not. I as a researcher, as a statistician, uh, I believe that we can do it, but however, we do not have the experience, okay, in starting our own business. So what we should do, for example, we should let another organization mentor us in maybe we get some funding for a bank for a loan, or give it, and then mentor us over a period of time, and then eventually we can go out into our. But it is needed because decisions make. For example, we had a friend in a bank, one of the friends in a bank. And we gave him a loan, for example. We gave him someone of our clients. So what we do is that we do a an organization, a non-profit organization, said that what is needed is black persons to have proper business plans. So they had partnered with us, and what they have done is that they decided that anytime we do a business plan, they will give us 50% of the cost of the business plan. So which will make it easier for black businesses to have business plans, because business plans are expensive, and the average black person cannot spend three and four and $5,000.
Well, okay, I'm just going to interrupt you there. There are organizations out there now are helping business people do business, black entrepreneurs do business plans for free.
But that's very good. That is very good. So what we have done, so for example, so we took the loan. The person took the loan and gave it to the bank. The bank declined it. Okay, we took the same information, gave it to another person from another bank with a different ethnic persuasion. That person approved the loan.
Really?
Wow.
So what we're saying is not necessarily the bank or the police or the Toronto School Board of Education or the ministry or the government. It's not necessarily the government, so we blame the government, but it's the persons behind that, the persons behind the bank, the decision makers. And that is what is needed. So we have to have a conversation. I think that is also a truth and reconciliation, a project where we can meet with people. Give me some of the reasons why you are continuously declining our loans.
I hope that you can bring up that. I'd love for you to give that example in front of a bank, in front of a bunch of bankers, and ask them why. I hold them accountable. One other thing here in regards to black organizations, Marlon's saying many of black organizations don't have the data themselves.
That's
so that's another thing. A question here too from Harris Marketing: black businesses would complete the surveys if they really understood how they would benefit from it. Could it be your approach?
Well, no. I mean, we have never really gotten serious resistance to our survey, because our survey is simple. We do it twice a year, and if anyone can email it, we can send the survey out to them, a labor market survey. We do the analysis for free. We do their report, and yeah. So we want people to know what businesses are black people in, what kind of income black people, how many persons you're looking for, what are your needs. What are your employment needs? All of that is conducted in a labor market needs assessment.
I think it was the actual organizations like working with the research firm is where you're getting resistance. Like for a non-profit to say, hey, we want to do this study. Right. You're not getting that feedback.
Yes. Because they have the client. I mean, it's many of the clients, many of these organizations have other organizations that they other black businesses that they work with. And what we want to ask is that let's conduct this survey. Let's see what is there, because we as a group, we're expecting or relying on Statistics Canada to collect all that data for us. But we know more about our organization than Statistics Canada. Right. And who are the decision makers again? If you look at
and it's difficult to navigate Statistics Canada. It's you have a PhD just to
is there, and Statistics Canada has a lot of information, and they collect very, very good information. And and in my interaction with them, I recommend them. They are very good. They are the best, and we just have to take what we need: data, industry and ethnic specific data, which Stats Canada cannot give.
Right.
So that's where we come in and provide that data. But
I find this interesting that I still in my mind that black organizations are not accepting your service. I just find that, it's not surprising. I'm sorry to say that, because I expect anything, but just the fact that, and I know from what you were sharing with us, and I can tell by your passion, you really want this to move forward for Black Canadians. And does it ever get frustrating when you get turned down by Black Canadian organizations?
Well, yes. Okay, as I tell one of my colleague of mine that his name is God Gibbs, and I said, I mean, he said, uh, Dr. Pierre, if the World Bank can sit down and speak to you, if the UN,
Yeah.
I mean, like, if these people could sit down and speak to you, okay, like on Friday on the April the 26th, we're meeting with the Canadian consulate, the consulated general, and most of the Canadian organization. If they could sit down and talk to you, how come your people, man, can't speak to you?
Ryan, the three,
It
the
is.
three.
It's I said, he said, it's just mind-boggling, but
Yeah.
that's normal, okay, because people have different agendas, and
Well, and we should definitely shift that from being normal, because when we see, and Errol talks a lot about this, and Errol Gibbs is the gentleman that wrote the Black Empowerment Manifesto, and he had been on the show previously. He talks a lot about acceptance, and when he's in the US, when he sits down with people and he talks about what he can do, there's acceptance there. It's like, oh, okay, this person knows what he's doing. And same like you're saying, like the World Bank, UN will sit down with you, you lay out your credentials and capabilities, and they're able to accept that. But in our community, and maybe it's just in Canada, but when we sit down with leaders of organizations, no matter what you put on the table, and it could be that trust, the trauma, there's that lack of acceptance. Like you have
Trust.
to dig so deep and get to the core of like having them accept what is needed. And they'll say it's needed, and you'll bring the solution, but they won't accept it.
They won't accept.
That's where I can see it could be very frustrating.
And that's the challenge. I was saying that in last year, there's an organization in the Caribbean called the Caribbean Court of Justice that deals all the. So we did a project for them. We looked at the pre-trial detention of prisoners and stuff. So all that data, imagine that prisoners, all that data we have, and they'll sit down to talk to us. And a regular, organizer, these are like judges and lawyers that, like, sponsored by Canadian government. I mean, nobody, who are we in their eyes? There was another study we were part of, a monitoring and evaluation. Statistics Canada had there's something called a PRAS project, a $19 million project the government of Canada gave the Caribbean region. We were part of that, in part of the evaluation. So I mean, so we are known internationally. However, it's very hard.
So have you ever had a meeting with our Minister of Labor, like in Canada?
No.
Wow.
Okay.
You got to change that.
Okay, Charmaine is saying that is indeed true. The decision makers, who are sometimes very biased, are the ones that are blocking the opportunities of funding our Black community, which is sad. Christopher is asking, we know there are challenges when submitting business plans to some institutions. However, away from this, is there any data that shows where we can, I don't understand, our businesses financially resourced?
Yeah.
Right, good. Okay, then. So for example, just, ducks likes ducks, ducks hire ducks. Okay. so ducks likes ducks. Okay. So
okay,
if you are, let's say, if a non-ethnic person, okay, or non-white, let's say, if a white person, if you go before a white person,
why don't you just say non-melanated? Make it
easy. Non-melanated. So if you're a non-melanated person, and people, someone like us, come to you for a loan, okay, you have certain prejudices in your mind, and these will inform your decisions. Okay, and it goes right away. It's a male dominated or a system. It goes right through the system, because if you give a Black person a loan or help him with his business, you not only help him, but you help his entire generation. And that's why it's important for us to have our own business, because we can employ 3 and 4 and 5 persons. And it's important for us that the general population accept us, because very few, less than 3% of white organizations or non-Black do business with the Black people.
Okay.
So we have to accept them.
So if it's not us doing our own, it won't happen.
It's not us. We're too small a community.
All right.
We have to get acceptance.
Farley is asking, what are the costs associated with conducting the research, and how many of our larger Black organizations will be contributing to the costs involved: BNI, BBPA, BBI, ACBN, Group 3737. Ryan, you want to take that on?
Yeah, I could take the first crack at it. We are funding it ourselves, so at least for this initial survey. But for the bigger one, we do want to use this initial Ontario survey or assessment to be able to show, oh my gosh, like the need for the national one. And then when we show that need, we'd be able to bring on, and again, we have this Black ecosystem that we're trying to at least get the groundwork of communication first among organizations. I feel when we have better communication, that'll lead to better trust, and then we can work on actually joint ventures. So by that time, we're hoping we can have everybody chip in for the bigger study.
So Farley also asked, how long would the research take?
Yes, it takes normally about 3 months, under 3 months, because we have a lot of data already. We have a lot of the data that we have been collecting, so we can do a lot of the analysis, second and third degree analysis. So we will be able to do that, and we also work in conjunction with some of the other statistical organization. We are very friendly with persons from StatScan. They could also provide a lot of data to us. So many of the other organizations that we collaborate with. So it's not that it's just the analysis, writing up the report, because as I said, we have a lot of data on that. Okay, so
right.
Farley says this should not be one organization's responsibility. Collaboration will fast track the effort tremendously. We cannot be blocked if we arrive together. Question from Christopher Lawrence. Question: a running thought comes to mind. If we share our independent research findings with institutions, will loan restrictions lessen or tighten?
I believe that the loan restrictions would be lessened, because you see we have to make when we make decisions, we have to make sure that people are aware of what they're doing. Because, for example, I always say that I had a meeting with the group. I always say that, no offense, but I always say that white people do not know that they're racist. You have to tell them that they're racist. So we have to tell them, hey, look what is happening, and what will happen is that they will make the changes. Okay, we have to inform person, provide the information, provide the data, and that's why the data is so important, because we do not have the data. So how could we make decisions? How could we inform people? How we can tell person, hey, look what is happening in our community? They will ask you, where is the data? Because we do not have the data. Okay, we could only talk for so long. At the end of the day, we have to provide the evidence. And the labor market,
the receipts.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's where individual experiences, like you said, can only go so far. Yes. I would say so many people have their individual experience, but that doesn't move the actual agenda. It's when you collect all those experiences and show the trend and show the actual bottlenecks where, hey, we're going into this bank and the people working there are treating a block of us like this. That's where we actually can make change. When one person comes out and says, oh, I didn't get the loan, we're like, well, what are all the factors? It gets too individualized. But as a collective, that's where we really can show the what's needed to be done.
So Farley says, if we encourage the key organizations to weigh in, they will buy in.
I'm going to lean on you for that, Farley.
Marlon's saying to the doctor, preach. Yes. Well, I will just say, from what I'm hearing, the encouragement is there. The buy-in isn't there yet.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what we have to work on. 100%.
That's a work. Well, doctor, I know we are. Okay, actually, I'm gonna one more. Okay, so a few more questions. I know it's coming up to the top of the hour here. Got a comment here. Farley is saying we need a dedicated series of DPMB and company-led brainstorming sessions with participation from all Black organizations of influence. This has to be conducted as a mission. Fully agreed.
Yes,
I love that.
Errol is saying, great observation surveys. Dr. C, can you share your vision behind these surveys? What's driving you?
Oh, well, that's a very good question. Yes, as I said, I'm a labor statistician. We came from the ILO school, and what we data is important, but we have to make decisions based on data. Okay, we must make decisions. As Black people, we do not make decisions. We make decisions based on feelings and opinions, and hunches. But other races, okay, make decisions based on data. In order for us to be at the table, we must be able to have data. And we decided about 10 years ago to collect data. We started with collecting data on the white pages. So there's in the telephone directory, there's the white page and then there's the yellow pages. So what we have done is that all the white pages and all the yellow pages that we can do, we put all this information into a database and created artificial intelligence. So if, for example, if you live on, let's say on 31 Eglinton Street, okay, we can type in 31 Eglinton and see everyone who's there. Okay, all of that information, email, all of that data, all of that, and then you in the yellow pages, we just type in the yellow page and you give you information. So you have taken the yellow pages and the white pages over those years, and we have done that for 40 countries. So we have taken that as a huge project, so we can get data on almost like on professions, on everything, and now obviously the yellow pages is going and Google is coming in. So
Doctor, you're a bad man, man.
No, it does not come up in time. It takes a long. It took a long.
I know. Here's another. Christopher is asking: besides or including the data, how can melanated business become more self-sufficient?
Good. That's a very good. So for example, what we need, we need a mentor. So every Black business or most Black business should have a mentor, either from another Black business who's successful, or in our case, another white business. So there's a business that, because of our size, we want to grow, and we want to grow bigger, because we get mentors. And so, for example, the Business Development Bank has decided to come with us and support us. We also get some other support from organization called the EDC, Export Development Corporation, and some of the Canadian bodies. They will come and help us, because sometimes when you're raising financing, hey man, you have to use the government, okay? Because okay, so you need that finance. Also, when the whole issue of loans, so we were successful thanks to Face. We got a loan from Face. Okay, but what I would say that, so when we get loans, for example, we should be able to there should be maybe a moratorium on every loan. So if I get a loan on, let's say on January, we should not be paying back the loan in February. We should pay back the loan in maybe March or April, because that business needs some time to generate income, to organize it itself. And other countries now are looking at that model. Okay. So we need that. First of all, Black businesses need a mentor. We need a mentor, and that's why we should have, for example, all Black businesses should maybe meet maybe once a month, for example, in a specific field, and discuss ideas and challenges, and then and things like that. So we need more mentorship and communication. We need to know who is who and where they are.
Yes.
All right. I'm just going to get in comments really quick, and they're flying, so I'm going to go through them right quick, family. So Marlon saying the organizations don't have the information because it's in the census that data is not. Mainly because in the census that data is not. He say also racial data is not collected.
No.
Ray is saying, what an amazing conversation. Thank you. We need to understand the importance of demographics and data. It influences everything. Informed decisions are made with access to data. Farley's saying we also need to know statistically how prepared or unprepared we are in sending our children to school at the elementary level relative to all other groups. He's also saying, I will call Dr. Pierre to move this forward. I love this.
Excellent.
So this is one of the things I love when I'm helping people say, make a decision and take action. So
100%.
Farley has made a decision. He's going to take action. Doctor, do you have any final words for us before we let you go to conquer the world?
Yeah.
With our help. We all have to help.
We all have to help.
Yes.
Our website is www.dpbglobal.com. So that's D for Delta, P for Papa, B for Bravo, global.com. And you can, my phone number is 647-966-4783. I repeat, 647-966-4783. And you can get me on my email, which is C Justine, Justine, Justin with an E, C Justine
Okay.
Pierre, Pierre at gmail.com. And you could look at our website, look at some of the projects that we have done, what we have, what we do. And as I said, we right currently we are getting into
Okay. You know
South
what?
Africa.
I'm going to
Yes,
interrupt you. You went so fast there. What's the phone number again?
it is
647.
647-966 4783. Okay. And
And
my
the email address?
is C as in Charlie,
Yep.
Justine, Justine, Justin with an E,
Okay, hold
and
on. Justine. Trying
Pierre
to do this. Pierre. Yep.
at gmail.com.
Okay, so I like
Okay.
doing things in real time because we didn't have that information. So we're going to put on the screen and tell me if it's right. There we go.
Yes, that's it, at gmail.com. And yeah, so right now we are looking to establish an office in Rwanda. So I think that
What?
yeah, so
Yeah.
Africa, hey, that's where the 1 point something billion people, a lot of young economy, young people. So and they need a lot of our services. I mean, if we 80, in fact, 85% of all our income comes outside of Canada. So
Mm.
we cannot rely on Canada for our business. We finish if we, who will give us jobs? Okay, it's
Right.
all within. We are not in the network.
Yeah, we got to
So
change that.
yeah, Dr. Pierre, Ryan, you have all that information because offline I'm gonna ask for it because I can only do so much. I got two hands and sometimes one brain. But we want to say thank you so much for taking the time to share with us today. Really, really appreciate what you're doing. And I did not know about your service until this morning. It is so needed.
Yes.
I mean,
100%.
like if I wish I would have known you sooner, I would have brought you to what we went to yesterday.
Oh, that's
True.
There's a reason for
Because we could have introduced. Well, I still think we have the opportunity to introduce you to people in the federal government, especially the Black Caucus, that need to know about what you are doing. Because I'm sure they'd be looking for someone like you and your organization to help move Black Canadians forward.
Yes. Thank you very much.
100%. And I'll just echo that. Thank you so much. I enjoy our conversations, and I think this was so needed so that our audience could see we do have the talent to get the data that we keep talking about.
Yeah.
So let's, like Farley said, action this and move forward. And now we'll talk about the data that we got and make some decisions.
Farley's also Marlon's saying I was skeptical before this because I knew that data did not exist, but with our participation, we will build it.
Thank you.
100%.
Yeah.
So there you go.
All we need is the opportunity. Okay. Many
Yes.
of the give somebody to give us a chance. Many of the large Black organizations, when they have projects, they don't look for the Black people. They look for the people within the network.
They go for the easy.
Yeah.
But actually, it's interesting, and I'm going to close out on this with you. I got an email yesterday from a Black organization that they said, "Oh, you're a very prominent member of the Black community." I go, "Really?" And they said, "We would like to do a survey. Take 30 minutes of your time to do a survey on Black business." They gave the name of the person who's going to do the survey, and they gave the name of the organization. So me, I'm going to look, and the person who wants to ask me questions doesn't look like me.
Yeah, and this is a very good point. Okay, it's like I said, well, who made the decisions? Okay, who are these people?
And
okay, we want to help our Black community.
And I'm not going to give the name of the organization, but when I saw that, I'm going, how is a Black Canadian going to feel? A Black Canadian business person with all that's going on, where someone who's non-melanated is asking questions about their business.
Yes,
So
the
we
world
need
doesn't
to
do.
chat offline, because I'm going to introduce you to this company that's putting out this. I say, you know what? You need to talk to this guy.
Yes.
Exactly.
And that is one of what we have been saying. For example, I had the interaction with an organization. They were doing some business, and they got this university to do some business for them. And when you look into the components of the university, less than 2% of the students are black people, and they resist getting black people, and you still give them your business.
Right.
You're not taking a stand. You're not taking a stand. And the other one, less than 7% of their students are black people. The reason why it is amazing. I say, well, who are these people? Why they make those decisions? And thankfully, because we have the talent here. We have the talent within our
It's here.
community.
100%.
We have the
Yes.
talent.
Doctor, thank you. Good stuff. We will definitely be in touch. I know Farley Flex will be definitely in touch too. Well,
Yes.
gotta make sure Farley's in touch. See who wins that race. Thank you so much. Continued work. Thank you for all you have done, are doing, and will be doing for our people.
Thank you very much.
Have a great day. Take care.
Thank you, Barry.
Bye. There we go.
Hey, the talent is within reach. Like, we talk so much about things that we have to do for the community. Yeah, let's lean on the experts in their field to get it done. And
so just some final comments here. I need to access the doctor's DNA. We are definitely related. Good stuff. Right. Marlon saying, preach, only we could be committed to solve our own issues. Exactly.
Yes.
I said to one of the members of the Black Caucus yesterday, I said to him, I don't expect people who don't look like us to help us.
And
I'm just being real here.
That's the hard road. Like, convincing those that don't look like us to help us when they have their own stuff to take care of for their own community.
But the thing is, sometimes it's easier to get other people who don't look like us to help us. And that's what perplexes me at times.
You got to shift that.
Right? Oh, look at this. Farley, I just called Dr. Pierre. The number is real. Amazing, Farley. I'm all over that. So, Ryan, I know you got to run. What's up for the weekend?
Yeah, weekend we are doing Black Boys Code. So this week and next week, our participants are learning how to make their own Space Invaders type game. So I'm looking forward to that. And another organization, the Black Tech Hub, reached out and we were able to connect and hopefully form a partnership going forward. I'm going to be part of their business analysis course. So looking forward to learning more about just learning technology and how to use it to analyze businesses. So excited about that. How about your weekend?
I got a lot of stuff to like. Today is crazy. Also, I've got to send a proposal to someone who I think is watching, and I got to do that. Tomorrow, having another meeting with this new intern, really now getting deep into doing some real handing over a lot of stuff for her to do in regards to uplift one of the shows, or one of the conversations do called State of Things with Aisha and Jill, which is on that's Saturday nights with Aisha and Jill.
Yes.
And then this Sunday, Black Canada Roundtable, 5 p.m. live. Scheduled guests include Elle Jones, Sarah Youngo, Roger Dundas of BuyBlacks.com, and Caesar Nodem of Musa. And if people haven't seen it, there's been some interesting commentaries going on about the Black North Initiative.
I'll be tuning in.
So there's quite an interesting article about the Black North Initiative that Ryan shared with me. So if you want to read it, it's a 20-minute read. It's not a small little article.
Grab your popcorn.
I'll get your coffee. If it's if it's warm enough today or tomorrow or Sunday morning, it's one of those you sit on the porch with your coffee or your chocolate tea. It's a 20-minute read. It goes in deep. And the people I've shared with it, they go, oh, wow. So we're going to chat about that. We're also going to talk about, maybe people may know this name, Ben Mulroney.
Oh, yes.
Ben Mulroney is...
This is worth tuning in for. You have to hear what's going on.
Right?
I'm just
going to, as Farley knows, I don't know what will it cost. So... always means there, but I'm just going to say a little teaser. Ben Maloney, who was on CTV Canada AM for years and years and years, has collaborated with the Black North Initiative.
You don't say.
And Ben is part of a new, I think, financial institution, and they want to reach out and get the experiences of Black Canadians when it comes to banking and loans. So we're going to be talking about at least those two concerns. So wherever you're watching, well, go to the Dr. Vibe Show YouTube page, Facebook page, subscribe. You'll get alerted on that. And we're back next week here on Monday and Friday in the morning time. We met some people yesterday that want to come on in regards to some different things they want to share about. But outside that, let's thank everybody who watched live or watching the replay. Thank you for your continuous support. It's appreciated, not taken for granted. Yes. Because of time, I won't do a roll call. But I like to say, as always, live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get small to get stronger. Block assumptions and aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect. Remember to give yourselves grace. And also, don't just manage your time, manage your energy. Have a fantastic weekend. We look forward to seeing you on Monday. God bless. Peace well. Keep the faith.